Chat 1212. What's good? Wilbur, what's up? Hannah be in the building. What's good, man? Adore, huh? I guess we should just get into it. Let's clap it up and get into the string here. What's good, people? We are in the building. It is another day, another Thursday night. We'll probably not be doing beat reviews this week. I'm gonna do this tier list. I actually went to this site and created. I seen some other people do this, and I thought it would actually be pretty fun to see all the DAWs that I've actually tested or tried once in my life. And I forgot all about Adore. I have actually tried Adore once, and I didn't like it. So there's that. So yeah, Adore was tried and not liked at the time. Um, I think it was more a Linux based DAW that they tried to push over to other platforms as well. I remember trying to do like a recording because some dude had it and he wanted me to mix something for him, and I told him to send me the files, and he's like, all I know how to do is, send you the Adore file. And there was really nothing online to kind of tell you how to do it at the time when I was trying to do it. So, yeah, it wouldn't make this list anyway. Like I said, I think I downloaded it and nothing ever came of it after that. So it wouldn't make this list. Trendsetter, what's good? Thank you for joining, man. Uh, Yeah, I mean, should be pretty cool DAW. Like I said, I know it's been in the making for a while. FL Studio, yeah. Caesar was good. Thank you for joining, man. Yes, it is only a semi DAW. Techno music, yeah, man. It's not complete. Uh, yes, it was very buggy. I think the file that he sent, like it wouldn't open or something. I don't know, man. Like I remember trying it a long time ago. So I guess that should have made the list because it seems people have actually tried it. That's what's up. Audacity is a baby dog. Yeah. All right. So I have my tier list here. This is something I kind of uh calculated in a way. Like I've used all of these tools. Um and I wanted to do this before because a lot of people ask about different DAWs that they've used. These are every DAW on here I've actually tried or used before. So the first DAW I ever used was this right here, which was Reason. Reason 4 was the first DAW that introduced me to the world of computer and making beats. I will never forget it. It was a very interesting time. I made a lot of really nice beats with it, not knowing anything about, really making beats on a computer. I started with like the MPC and a keyboard. Um, I went to a Yamaha RS7000. If you have no idea what that is, it's okay. But yeah, RS7000 was the one I actually purchased because my boy already had the MPC, and my other boy, he had a ASR X or 10. I don't know if it was a 10 or X, but he had the ASR red joint with the square, with the triangle, or the home run pads, I call them. So yeah, so that's kind of how I started. Uh, so laptop, yeah, I know it was Linux based. I think it started in Linux. Uh, Good job, you went to Cakewalk. Very good choice. It's a keyboard. No, no, I started. It's not really a keyboard. It's like a SP 1200. I don't know if you know what that is. Like the old drum machines with the hard pads, but it was shaped like a keyboard on it, and it was it's like a groove box. It had its own sounds in it. When I went to buy it at, what was that, Sam Ash, the guy told me it was the MPC killer at that time. He was like, "Yo, this is the MPC killer," and I was like, "How is that possible?" He's like, "Because it has its own sounds in it." And it came with like two soft pads on the side, and all the other pads were like hard, like the SP 1200 kind of press button kind of pads. It lit up. You can sequence in it. You could sample in it. It had a longer sampler than the MPC. You can stretch them out throughout the keys. It was pretty dope. I still have it. It's in a case somewhere in here. Um, Maybe one of these days I might, do a video on it, bring out the relic. It had like a green screen. It had onboard sounds. It had I purchased the 8 outs on it, so I can like go to like ADATs and stuff like that. When I went to the studio, I just sent all the instruments to each track, and that's how I learned how to do all this stuff, yo. Uh, from doing stuff like that. And Reason actually helped me out a lot to learn how to do patching and moving stuff around. Yeah, Arch. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. Uh, MPC, like the beat machine, the MPC 3000, MPC 2000 is M as in Mary, MPC. Yeah. Do many people use Arch? I don't know what Arch is. I've never heard of Arch. That's a new one for me. So if you guys know what Arch is, that's great, but I have no idea what that is. All right, so I made this tier list. I used some terms that I like to use, like best all around DAW. For me, may not be what you like or gravitate toward. I have a good section. I have a it's okay. I have a need some work, and then I have trash. Um, there's probably gonna be a couple in the trash, just to let you know right now. But I guess we should kind of start this and see where it goes. Non-playable character. No problem. All right. All right. So, Jeremiah, what's good, man? Thank you for joining. I appreciate you for stopping by. I'm about to go over my tier list and see where these DAWs rank. Like I said, these are all the DAWs that I've actually used before. Um, so I have some kind of history with them in some way, form, or fashion. Some were good, some were bad, and a couple of them were pretty ugly. If you are new to this channel, I do have a Discord server. If you're just tuning in the Discord server, I do a weekly beat review. This would usually be one of those days, but there was no beats in there to listen to, so I decided to do this tier system of the DAWs instead, just to have some fun with you guys, kind of give a break from the actual beats and stuff like that. If you did want to join, the link is below in the description. We also do a sample flip every month. Probably going live maybe Sunday to make those samples for this month's sample flip. So you guys can get ready for that as well. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. We're here to have some fun and make fun of DAWs and all that good stuff. All right. Arches Linux. Ah, man, we got Linux users in here too. All right. So let's start with something that almost everyone in here has probably used, and that is Audacity. Yay! Where should Audacity go? All right. Audacity is it's kind of okay. Like you can do audio files in there. You can't really make beats unless you're like super dope. Like you can just use audio files all the time and kind of put stuff together. But it's not ideal for actually like making beats. You can record in it, which is more to say than some of the other DAWs. And it is absolutely free. So you don't have to pay for it. It is, you know, third party sourced or like open source, I should say, which kind of makes it bad because I've heard they added like spyware and stuff like that to it. So a lot of people are kind of scared to really download it and use it. Um, and in that case, it would be like need some work. But for this very tier of DAWs, it's going to go in the trash. So I'm sorry if you do use Audacity as a DAW. Like, stop it. Please stop. There's other alternatives out there right now that you can use that are better than Audacity. Audacity has no right to be in this list of in this list of DAWs, yo. Like I put it on here because I've used it before, and some people say it's a DAW for them. So yeah. All right. So we're gonna move along. And I'm gonna go with the next one. I'm gonna go with is kind of not obvious, but um, something that I've been asked to use before, and I downloaded it, I used it, and I immediately deleted it. And that right goes to LMMS. And when I first tried it out, I thought it was okay. It had that FL kind of feel, not really FL. Um, Seeing that at the time when I used this, I was really heavy in FL Studio. So I liked the way it kind of had things laid out and where you can do stuff, but you can't record vocals in it. So that in itself was like, all right, like what can I really do with this? You can't really mix in it. The sounds were trash, complete and total garbage. So I mean, in that point, it would really need some work. But as we see as we go along with this tier, it's trash. we're gonna put LMMS in the trash under Audacity because it's just that bad. The color scheme is not that great. It just didn't come together at all, yo. It did come with some sounds in it, and you can kind of use other things and samples, but you couldn't like record any kind of vocals or anything like that into it. And it was a bite of FL Studio. The good thing about it, it was free. Um, it's actually pretty good if you're using a free thing and you wanted to kind of just make something. But yeah, it gets the no for me. Let's see which one of these keys it should be. Fatality. Yeah, basically that's what happened to that. It died. Mission failed. We'll get them next time. Maybe, but I doubt it. So let's move along. All right. You made 2 albums with Audacity? Are you serious? Were you just recording like audio? Like you had your 2-track and you just record audio? I could see that, yes. But to actually make anything else or add anything else, I don't know about that. Audacity is a great audio editor. Don't use your skateboard as a bicycle. That is hilarious, yo. This is a horrible album. Oh man. Yeah, I didn't like Audacity. I mean LMMS. I mean it was really bad, yo. I didn't think it was good at all. But all right. So let's move along. I'm gonna go through one that people probably have no idea what it is. You're probably looking at it like, what the hell is that? And that is this. Let me know if you guys know what this is. Linux uses Arcs, by the way. Do you use Audacity? Do you use it to edit audio, or do you use it like as a DAW to kind of mix, edit, master, effects, all that good stuff? Do you use it for that? I know plenty of people that actually will have the audio file. They'll go to Audacity and then drop it into whatever DAW that they want after that, because Audacity has like a nice little thing that can clean up like your audio. Um, a lot of podcasters use it because it's free and you can just use the WAV files in there. But yeah, using Audacity as a DAW would basically mean no turn. Oh yeah, definitely. Ah, what? 10? All right, so this is Digital Composer. If you don't know what that is, it is a DAW that a lot of people in film use to actually make scores. I mean, it is a very, very good scoring DAW. Like you can use it to, a lot of people use it to create like those really big orchestral sounds. That's where you would use Digital Former. I've used it a couple of times. The workflow is kind of like a little like New Window to me. I don't know why I don't have New Window on this list. I did use New Window. But I'll just use Cubase as New Window because they pretty much intertwine and are pretty much the same in a lot of ways. But Digital Performer is that DAW. That is what it is. You said you tried Digital Performer? Yes, it all right. So it was like the person that I went to their studio and they had it in, and I had to use it because that's all they had. And at that time I didn't have like Reaper. I can just throw my flash drive in there and kind of do stuff. But he had a lot of like Spitfire and contact libraries, and he had one of those 88 keyboard things, and he had the modulators that you do your expressions with and it was crazy, yo. But it was really good for that kind of stuff. just to be honest, I don't know if you can record vocals in it. Just to be, I don't know, because we never did anything. Everything we did was more orchestral bass. You know, you have your MIDI stuff, then you had your scores sheet thing that it created. It was a very interesting DAW, but I'm going to put it down here and need some work because no one knows what it is. I'm not going to put it as trash because it actually is a decent DAW if you know how to use it. But yeah, that is what I got from that. Recording whatever or whatever. Real talk, AC. So I guess this would get one of those. Shots fired! Shots fired! That's probably not the right one. It'll probably just do like a wow. I'll give it a wow. Uh, P for composer. Digital performer. I'm sorry. Did I say I was using digital performer? I'm sorry. I said composer. Digital performer. I am so sorry. Butchered that completely in this. Yeah. No, yeah. Digital composer. I see. I did it again. Digital performer. That's how much I don't really use that DAW, but it seems like it seemed like a really good DAW at the time. So yeah, yeah. Linear editing. It could be. Yeah. Let's say is the Arch Linux DAW. It's just Reaper isn't as complicated as say install Arch Linux. Okay, I have no idea what that is. Yes, digital performer. Goodness gracious, I don't know why I was saying composer. Is words get mixed up. With Audacity, you can go back and say what you want. Echo to be slightly less. Maybe undo everything. Okay, yeah. I know Audacity is one of those good ones though. Everything I want. Yes, you do need that equipment, Annaby. It's game changer, man. Like when I saw him use like he was using like the pitch wheel and then he'd go through the strings and he'd do like the little I was like, okay, I see where you're going with this, buddy. And all I did was drums. Because he needed some hip hop drums over his I don't know if I think it was for like some kind of film or something at that time. This was a while ago. I mean, years. Um, yes, you can. I don't know. A lot of people gravitate toward, and a lot of people that don't use Digital Performer actually went to Cubase or Nuendo. Like it was like one of those film things. Like if you did film, you kind of use this. It was like the Pro Tools of film kind of thing. I don't know why. It just was. I don't even know how much that thing was. Hold on. Now I'm gonna be just nosy and stuff. See how much it costs. Uh, yeah, Digital Performer, $499 at Sweetwater. 499, yo. So they're up to Digital Performer 11. Actually, I guess I got the wrong sign. But yeah, 499, 199 for some of them, and 395. Woo. So there's that. All right. So let's move on. I think I should do the stuff that you guys don't know, so it makes it a little bit easier for me. All right. So let's move down here, and we're gonna go to this that says Soundbridge. If you guys know what Soundbridge is, let me know inside the chat. Soundbridge is in a beta mode right now, so it is free to kind of download. They have the RIT X, which is like a drum sampler that you can download for free. It's actually pretty good. I have no real complaints about the drum sampler, but it comes with this Soundbridge. They're about to start doing a release for it, I think, like a full blown release for it. And I have no idea how much it's going to cost or if it will cost. But using it has a different feel for sure. Um, the setup is kind of clunky to me, so like the workflow is not as smooth as it should be. It does have a lot of cool little tweaks and features in there, but it's nothing that's gonna like completely stand out. And like I said, it's still in the beta mode, so I will put it in his section down here that says need some work. So that's pretty much where that one will go. Let me know if you guys have tried Soundbridge. Never used Soundbridge? Yeah, you can check it out. It's free to download. Like I said, they have a beta version of it, and you get like this drum sampler, and they give you something else. I can't remember what it is at this very moment off the top of my head. But the drum sampler is pretty cool. It has like, you can have like your MPC kind of layout with it. You can kind of manipulate the sounds of each one of the pads. But the DAW itself is pretty sleek. It's not bad. It's just not that good. um, and the font that they use is kind of like a slanted font. It's not like a regular font of words. It's kind of hard to explain. One of these days, I'll probably go into Soundbridge and kind of show you how it is and what it does and how you to kind of use it. But yeah, so yeah, they get one of those. We'll get them next time. Yeah, they will. But like I said, it's in beta mode still, so you can get it for free and download it and use it as you wish. All right. So I guess we should move along to the next DAW. Um, where do I want to go? Let's go with the Mac favorite. I'm gonna go with Logic, right? People really love Logic. Uh, I've used it several times. The thing I didn't like was their like integrated like mixer in the channel. That was trash. I had to use something else to get it to to edit the way I wanted it to sound. Um, Looks wise, it looks like a really appeasing DAW. I have a skin for it or a theme for it in Reaper, and a lot of people really like the Logic theme. Um, I think it has some really good sounds for stock. Like their stock sounds are really impressive, man. I can't deny it. But other than that, it's an all around pretty good DAW because you could do everything in there. You could do the filming part, you could do the recording, you could make beats in it. They have a step sequencer. They're upgrading it all the time. So yeah, I mean, like it's definitely a good one. You said BandLab is top tier. Logic is good for Apple, and yes, that is like the downfall of it is that it's only for Apple users. I don't actually have a Mac, but I know a lot of people that do. A lot of studios that I go to actually use Logic as their main DAW. So, and that in itself, it has to go into the good section. But I don't have a Mac, so I can't put it as a best all around. At least to me, it doesn't fit that category. So I'm going to put it in the good. I hope you guys are acceptable of that. And if you're not, it doesn't really matter because this is my tier list. Shots fired! Shots fired! Ah, yeah, love it. All right. My friend uses Logic X. Says it's much better. Yeah, it's really good, man. FL Studio, Cakewalk remain the top DAWs. We'll see. Standard Logic, doubt that. You prefer FL over Logic? If you have, do you have a Mac? If you have a Mac, then I mean, if I had a Mac, I'd be using Logic just to let you guys know. And it wouldn't really be too much debate about it. I'd be using Logic. FL supremacy, yeah. All right. Cakewalk or BandLab, good too. Yeah, they're good. As a hip hop and EDM beat maker, as a hip hop EDM beat, I like a lot of people that make EDM use Logic. Logic is like an all around DAW. Like I've seen people make country music, I've seen people make rock music, I've seen people do like whole bands, I've seen them do hip hop, pop, drill, like whatever it is. Like they've been able to do it inside of Logic and actually record and mix and master inside of Logic. So there's that. Yeah. So I mean, like it won't affect you because you can't get it. That's why it's in the good section because it's not for all the DAWs. But let's go to a goodie, but not everybody has it as well. We're gonna go to GarageBand, which is the underling of Logic. But is it? Is it really the underling of Logic? Because like GarageBand, when I had it on like the little iPhone, I thought it was pretty cool. Then you could kind of transport all that stuff over to Mac, and you could have it in your own little GarageBand. And you had like little effects and all that stuff. But it's only for Apple, and just to be honest, it's not necessarily a great DAW. So I'm gonna put it down here in the trash. I know I might get some flack about it, but who really cares?
Shots fired! Shots fired!
That's just how I feel. It just is what it is.
Fatality.
We gotta kill them.
Nice.
So, yeah. Plus, it's on Mac only. It's the baby child to Logic. I mean, it could probably go in the it's okay section, but no one is really using GarageBand as a DAW. I mean, you make beats or something like that in there, but you're not really releasing, hit songs from GarageBand. I just don't see it. You could probably do it though, just to be honest, but no. No, Logic is all around, yo. Logic is definitely an all around DAW. Yes, it is. It is actually good for newbies, but it is what it is. Low cuts in the building. What's good, man? GarageBand is okay. Good for start. It is good for starters. I will agree. It is good for starters. But in the realm of DAWs, like there's so many other things you can actually get and use that are better than GarageBand. Then that it doesn't really hold a stick to anything. All right. GarageBand is also good DAW for iPad users. Yes, it is good for iPad users as well. He said, but it's gotten worse. Yeah. Keep using Ableton or FL now. Yeah, and the reason that is that people use FL because it was so easy to bootleg. Everyone had it. Everyone had a bootleg. Probably everybody in this chat probably had a bootleg version of FL Studio at one point in time in their DAW career, just because everybody had a cracked version of FL Studio. It was just a thing. Like I had it. I'm gonna admit it. I had a cracked version back in the day, and I went and purchased it because I was like, you know what? It's a good DAW. I don't see why I need to keep doing this bootleg thing. But when I got the money up to pay for it, I actually went out and purchased it, just like everything else. You made your last beat with GarageBand. GarageBand, yo. big drum thingy where you cannot do 6/4 time. What for? What? What is it? What is that for? GarageBand or something? What was that for? You'd say it needs work. All right. Do you guys agree that GarageBand needs work and take it out of the trash can? All right. I'll put it in front of the other two that's down there.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Oh my goodness. Ah,
Fatality.
yeah. Let's kill GarageBand. Forget that. Forget the Mac, yo. We're going all in. Polo the Don used GarageBand. That's kind of hard to believe. Like, which beat was that he made in GarageBand that sold? GarageBand is pretty good. iOS DAW, nothing more. I'm trying to upgrade. I mean, if you have GarageBand, you might as well just go get Logic to actually get the full experience of actual real sounding sounds, a better mixer, better plugins, more integration, better sound. You could actually put video inside of it and do film scores. Why would you do that to yourself with GarageBand? No. All right. I say free DAW is good. Maybe next to split tiers for free and paid VSTs. Maybe. Sounds gotten worse. All right. I use Blender as a DAW. What? When I outgrow Audacity. But Blender is not a DAW. That's not a DAW at all. That's like me going into what is that thing I use? What is this thing called? DaVinci Resolve. They have a really nice setup in there. You can kind of do your audios and effects and stuff like that and clean up stuff. But it's not a DAW. It's just not. It just doesn't flow the same. Um, he uses GarageBand. Yeah, I remember that person in the Discord. I think they left. Acoustic music? What? You mean like plugging a guitar into like your iPad? I don't know about that. Yeah, Fruity Loop days, man. You gotta do it. FL Studio, man. There's a whole bunch of FL gang in here. Used GarageBand. He was a singer and indie pop producer. Okay. What is he doing now? Like, where is his songs? Did he mix and master inside of GarageBand? I highly doubt that. You can record stuff in there. You can make beats in there. I think it's fine for that. But if you're trying to do anything on any kind of like professional level, I would say just go to Logic because it's the bigger brother to GarageBand, and it makes more sense to do that. Yeah, shots fired, man. Gotta lay them down, yo. They're not getting back up either. Waveform. I see some waveform people up in here. What's good, Ree? Thank you for joining, man. BandLab at the top. Sure, stop that. All right, bro. GarageBand is goofy. Okay. Uh, there is cracked logic. Is there a cracked logic? Why would you want to crack logic? I don't understand. Um, Research Poll of the Dawn. Use GarageBand to make Usher's "Love in the Club" with stock sounds. That's what's up. GarageBand for the win. All right, I'm gonna take it out the trash just because y'all keep talking. It needs some work. How about that? I'll put it here because the real work that it needs is to go up to Logic to be a real DAW. I'll take it out of the trash. You guys convince me. Blender, because you can move blocks of audio around. Kind of volumes, automation, no effects. Yeah, Blender, all of them like other things is pretty dope, man. I think. I could have swore Pokemon Paradise was in the server, man. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it was somebody else. You can mix and master in Garage. All right, I put it in the thing because you guys killing me with this. What do you mean Logic Pro isn't iOS? They have one now for iOS. It's not, just for just the Apple stuff anymore. uh, how the Reaper loop? I got some Studio One. What? You got Studio One? That's what's up. You have the artist edition, or you got the free one? All right. If I had to use DAW on Mac, would Logic be the way to go, or Pro Tools? If you're gonna use it on a Mac bin, I'm gonna say Logic, just because the audio, the MIDI stuff inside of Logic is far superior than Pro Tools. And in Pro Tools, if you don't use their, was that the AAX whatever thing um, for their plugins, you won't be able to use any plugins really inside of Pro Tools. They have their own language that you have to have in order to use Pro Tools. So I would say Logic would be a better choice if you're on a Mac, or you can even go like Reaper. Reaper is really good. Um, oh, you got the artist one. All right, cool. So you should be in business, man. Yo, I might start doing some Studio One videos. Do you have like the 6.5 artists, or you have like the older ones? Let me know. Logic Pro isn't on phones. GarageBand is installed for phone, basically. Yeah, I know they just released a Logic for like the iPad. I don't know if it's on the phone because I don't have an iPhone either. I'm not an Apple product person. I have an iPad, but I don't really use it like I should. And it's really old, and it's the mini one. Ever since I couldn't update it, it's been sitting over there in the corner. I don't even touch it. My kids don't touch it. No one touches the Apple products in here. Everyone hates Pro Tools. Yeah. Pro Tools is not good for composers or pop producers. I will highly disagree with that. They do not. Hans Zimmer does not use Pro Tools. Hans Zimmer uses Cubase, and he has recently moved to Reaper. Yes, I said it. He has moved to Reaper. That is his DAW of choice at this moment. Last time I checked. No problem, man. Hmm? Plugin language for DAW. What? Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, man. I got to get the 6.5, man. I don't want to pay for it though. Ah. All right. Pro Tools blah. It's a particular DAW for one. More of an audio editor. I agree. All right, seeing that we're talking about Pro Tools, where do we put Pro Tools on the list? What I want to do is put it down here. This is where I want to put it. Promise you guys, this is where I want to put it, but I can't. I cannot put it down here. It does need some work, but it's okay. I'm gonna put it in this okay section, and then the reason that is because it's probably the best audio editor on the market. Um, Other than that, it's trash. It crashes all the time. It doesn't do good with MIDI. You have to have its own hardware and software to run inside of it. If you don't have I think it's AAX. I don't even remember what it is. I hated going to the studio when I was working up there at Valley of the Kings, and we had to use Pro Tools because everybody was just riding Pro Tools like it was the right thing to do. And they were like, if it's not Pro Tools, then I don't really mess with it. And it's like, why, dude? It's everything. What people don't understand is digital, is digital, is digital. It's not. There's nothing changing. All these DAWs give the same exact response for any kind of input that it gets on there. They all have the same output. You can do a null test on every single one of them. The only one that might have something is like the Harrison mix bus because they add some harmonizing thing inside of the mixer itself. Even when you put it in there, there's no way to really take it off. Other than that, all these DAWs, same exact thing. Like it's all digital. If you record into a mic, into a digital platform, guess what? All of it's going to be the same. It's still just digital. But Pro Tools does have a really, really good way of messing and tweaking audio. I think it is the best audio tweaker that I've ever used, but I hate using it because it was trash. It used to always crash on us when we were in the studio trying to get stuff done. You see that stupid little pinwheel thing on there for the Macs, and for Windows, if you had it on Windows, it just crashed and just shut down. And it's like, what the hell just happened? What did I do to make this happen? And you don't even know because it just happened. That's how I feel about that. That's fine with me. All right. I would say Pro Tools, the company, uh, DigiDesign, yeah, kind of the first. What? Kind of the first in the DAW. Digital tapes for storage, typically the pioneer, falling behind in the tech. Pioneer. Yeah, Pro Tools is one of the first. And yes, heavy price. Definitely heavy on the price. It's definitely overpriced. And plus you have to buy all this other equipment just to get it to work. I was like, nah, man, this is not it. Trash and need work. I say trash. Yeah. Uh, we're gonna give it up for Pro Tools because it's been in the game for the longest, and they still say it is the standard for DAWs. So I'm a clap it up for them for that. But we all know it should be.
Mission failed.
This is
We'll
what it
get 'em
should
next
be.
time.
Yeah, it should be failed, but it's not. All right. Um, yeah, everybody uses Pro Tools in the studio. If you go to a big studio, the more than likely they're gonna have Pro Tools. What? GarageBand, Pro Tools, all the other should be trash. It needs some work with best. No, I mean, yeah, Pro Tools is a DAW though. I mean, you can do MIDI editing in it. You can do filming and scoring. It has the most hits, I guess you can say, out of all of these when it comes down to it, because the big studios use this. TV film world uses Pro Tools. Like every aspect of any kind of entertainment music uses Pro Tools. So you can't say it's trash. I want to, but I can't. Uh, they're editors, not DAWs. Everybody used to use Pro Tools, so there's that. Yeah, what? Yeah, Hans Zimmer been Cubase dude for a very long time. He was always Cubase for a very, very long time. Um, can't put it in the trash, man. Um, all right. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. Let's see here. Mixcraft. I've never used it. Mojo. Sorry about that. I can't see your name. Thank you, ma'am. All right. So yeah. Um, I have never used Mixcraft myself. So this is a list of DAWs that I've actually personally used, touched, done something with in my past. So that's what this tier list is. If you use Pro Tools, it's not fine with me. Um, make you install Ableton Live. When it comes to like the audio part for like the mixing and stuff, I'd go with Pro Tools, man, over Ableton. Just to be honest with you, like I can mix better in Pro Tools than I can in Ableton, and I don't know why. It just is. It's just that a factor is it is what it is. Uh, Mixcraft is definitely good. I've never used Mixcraft, so I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. Mixcraft is better than some. I believe it. Soundbridge is okay at best. Um, yeah, yes, it is on the list because I used it. I used Soundbridge before. I've tested it, tried it out. I've never used Mixcraft. All right. I missed that. Film studios are running old Pro Tools, old Windows, and DigiDesign main market. And it's the industry standard, man. That's what they call it. You know, it's actually starting to change. The change of guard is starting to happen. And when I get to that door, I'll talk about it. New users is supported. Sucks. All right. Makes sense. Cubase is what? Yes, Cubase is a really good DAW. Bitwig. I left that off. Uh, I meant to put Bitwig on here. I gotta find Bitwig. I'm sorry about that. Bitwig people, I apologize. I did use Bitwig, but you know, it is what it is. I've opened it up and looked at it. I haven't like fully got engaged inside of Bitwig. I actually have it down there below inside my list of DAWs. I just forgot to put it on there. I mean, Bitwig is all right. From what I've actually tested about it, it's okay. I don't see the hype about it, just to be honest. Like especially using Reaper, I haven't seen like something that's like, oh, I'm gonna go to Bitwig. It hasn't been that kind of thing. Ableton has more plugins. Yes, definitely good for EDM and producers. FL Studio Ableton are good. Yes, they are. All right, let me find out what DAW should we do next. I'm gonna start with the DAW that had. I'm gonna go with a DAW that had a lot of potential, but just kind of fell off during the years, and that is Reason. I'm gonna start it here in this OK section. It's OK section, but I may move it. Reason was really, really ahead of the game at the time when I first started using it. I started on Reason 4. They had the rack mounts. You could kind of flip them around, which is really, really dope. You can do samples. It had like 2 or 3 samplers in there. It had sounds, but they wouldn't integrate their VST3s. I have no idea why. They just didn't want to do it. So that I believe they like completely fell off inside the market that they had. And when they did that, they decided to do the racks, like the Reason rack stuff, and no one really bought into it. And they were too high. They started raising the prices on their original customers, and it just completely fell off. So I'm gonna put it in need some work. I'm gonna put it above these other ones in the need some work category though, because it really is a solid DAW. It's funny is I don't remember ever seeing or trying to record vocals inside of Reason. I'm not saying that you can't. I just don't remember ever doing it or trying it inside of Reason. Very interesting. Now that I think about it. But other than that, I think it's a solid DAW. The sounds that actually come in it are really, really good. Like their stock sounds are on par with Logic's, if you ask me. But yeah, Bitwig is very complex. From what I tried it like one time, I think I just opened it up to kind of see how things are, where things are. I didn't really get the gist of everything, but I gotta check it. You were blown away behind. Yeah, Reason has some really good sounds, yo. Reason 5. Yeah, definitely quality stuff, man. Like I used to laugh at people who had FL Studio back then when I think this is like around like the FL4, FL5 area. And I was using Reason at that time. I was like, y'all tripping, y'all. I need to get on some Reason. This FL, this Fruity Loop stuff. What is that? Yeah. Never seen this DAW or heard of it. Really? It's a good DAW, yo. Okay. Uh, I had a bootleg copy of Reason 4.5. Oh, yeah. I had 4, man. And all them damn discs that it came with, it was crazy, yo. All right. So let's move along. Some people are probably looking at this one here and wondering what the hell this is. This is Maschine. It's not necessarily a DAW, but it is a DAW in its own right. I've actually seen someone record vocals into it. I've seen people actually mix inside there. I've seen people do layouts. It has great effects because it's native instruments, of course, and they have high quality sounds. I am a native instrument head, if you guys didn't know already, but I think they have some really, really good and quality sounds. Maschine is very fast, easy to use, intuitive. The layout is really simple. Um, it's just not really a DAW. You wouldn't place your bets on mixing inside of it, but beat making of any sort, like sampling, whether you're doing EDM, hip hop, pop, I believe Maschine is a really, really good DAW. But I had to put it in it needs some work because it does need some work. And I'm gonna put it above this Soundbridge and of course Garage. This really should be down here. You guys know it. But I'm gonna leave it here in the need some work section. Um, I'm gonna put it above Digital Performer just because I want to. This is my list.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
I need to figure out which buttons is supposed to be what.
Fatality.
Nice.
All right.
That was
legitness. Yeah, it was. Huh?
Shots fired! Shots fired!
All right, I gotta remember these buttons. All right. Yes, Fruity Loops, man. That's what it was. Reasons is a DAW. It's a DAW by Reason. If you look it up, there's actually a lot of producers who actually use Reason, and you just don't know it. I don't know if you know who Illmind is. Illmind uses Reason. He's had many, many, many hits. He's done scores for like Moana. He's done like any of your favorite underground rappers. He's probably had a beat for them. Really, really good dude. He is the reason why I mix the way I mix. I went to a session with him at a camp, and he showed us a technique, and it's been the technique I've been using still to this day. What is Maschine? What? You don't know what Maschine is? Maschine 2, Maschine 3, or the MK3 from Native Instruments. Maschine is like a DAW within a DAW within a DAW. And you can actually use it in any other DAW. So if your DAW can use VST2 or VST3s, you can use it. Actually, I'm using it inside of Reaper as we speak. This is Maschine. This right here is Maschine. This software here, where I'm having all my sounds, is Maschine. So yeah, Maschine for the W, yo. Yeah. All right. Yeah, the micro is dope. Torrance Banks, what's good, man? Been with Cakewalk since the beginning. 12 tones? Wow. That was a long time ago. I had to use them for many sequencers, DAT machines, FL Studio to make music and record in Sonar Platinum. Are you still using Platinum? That's what's up. I have I actually had the first Sonar. I don't even know if it was owned by Cakewalk at that time. I had Sonar 1. That was my first DAW that I actually recorded in, like voice recording, had effects and stuff like that. It was Sonar 1. I remember buying it from Sam Ash. The same Sam Ash I bought my RS7000 from, which you probably guys probably have no idea what that is. But yeah. Almost bought a MK3. They're good, man. Native Instruments is amazing to me, y'all. What is Maschine? Maschine is great, man. All right. Studio One is pretty dope too. Yes, Studio One is dope. Pro Tools. Propeller Head, yes. Propeller Head makes Reason. All right. uh, all right. So let's move on. I'm going to go to this free one right here. This is Wave Traction Form. They do have a free version out there. I have used it. You know, what can I say? I'm not a fan of the workflow inside of it, but it's okay. It's actually probably going to stay in this area. It's okay. You can record in it. You can use different VSTs in it. You have a limited amount of tracks if you're going to use like the free version. Um, it has some sounds in it that are actually okay. I wasn't completely mad at it. Um, it's okay. I mean, that's where it is. It's like right there. It's okay. I know there are some people out there that actually use this as their DAW, and they love it. Um, I'm not particularly that much of a fan of it, but it's okay. Yeah, I put it on there because I used it. Waveform is yeah. uh, yeah, it is pretty limited. If you're doing like the free one, it is definitely pretty limited. But I have it where I think I have like a regular version of it. Um, I don't remember paying for it, but I have a regular version of it. Yep, it was a Linux thing. Logic and Pro Tools scrubbing their users instead of the software is kind of dumb. Being on Mac only, yeah. All right. So so now we're getting into like the heavy hitters for me. Um, let's start with um, let's start with ooh, I don't know which one to start with. I'm gonna start with BandLab. All right, I'm gonna put BandLab in. It's okay. The reason I'm gonna put it in it's okay is because the DAW, the online DAW, kind of sucks. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like the freezing that I get from it is ridiculous. You can't add. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put it down here. It needs some work. It needs some work, man. Um, it has so many issues with it, but the mobile version, like if I put it on like a tablet or an iPad or on a phone, BandLab is amazing. But on a computer, when I try to make a beat or something, it always lags. There's some kind of glitches. The noises come out weird. I can't use my own VSTs inside of it. Um, but the benefits of it is that you don't necessarily need any external VSTs. You can record your vocals. It has an auto tune thing in there. Uh, the effects actually work very, very nice. You can even do mastering online. It gives you an option to share your music with the BandLab community, which is really, really dope. And you can use like the BandLab sounds and drag those in and out. It comes with a sampler, a drum machine, unlike its predecessor, which is like the Cakewalk sonar kind of deal. They don't have like sampler inside there, which I still don't understand. It is very heartbreaking, just to say the least, that it doesn't have a sampler inside a Cakewalk. And I think that is one of the things that deter a lot of people from the DAW itself. Even though there's alternatives, and I actually showed them in some of my videos, it's better to have something integrated so the user doesn't have to go outside of the box to get what they need. It should already be inside the DAW. So with that being said, BandLab is in the need some work category. And yeah, we're gonna live with that. Let's see which key I'm supposed to be hitting here. I think it's this one.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Yes, they will. um, that sucks. Do Studio One next. I do not have Linux, but I know a lot of people that I know. I should say a lot of people. I know a couple people that actually still use Linux. I have no idea how they do it. And when I want them to sit down and teach me how to use it, they don't want to do it. So All right. Yes. What is that? What is Debian 12? What is that? Is that like some kind of DAW? FL is actually not beginner friendly. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's not a friendly DAW. I came from Reason, and it took me a minute to even grasp what was going on inside of FL Studio. It was ridiculous, yo. BandLab is all right. It needs a lot of work. I think it's just my personal opinion. Hopefully, that when they come out with the Cakewalk next, I might do another tier video with that in there and the Sonar stuff. But right now, like the next program is it seems to be pretty dope. They're kind of integrating the whole BandLab thing, the look of BandLab, but it's not necessarily the BandLab app. And you get to use like the BandLab sounds right inside there. You can use your own tools, you can use your own VSTs, and that makes it a lot more better. Uh, uh, the what? Splitter is great. Yes, yes, the splitter is actually really amazing inside of BandLab, where you can send your stuff out to other people. You can actually work on stuff together. I think it's really dope. Oh, it's a version of Linux. Okay, see, I'm trying to tell you, man, I don't know nothing about Linux. Uh, FL, you feel FL is friendly? That's because if you started with FL Studio, then yeah, um, Reason is complex, but that's what I started with. I started with a DAW that you had to do a lot of stuff to kind of get it to work. It does, man. It took me a minute because of all the windows that FL has. You have all these damn windows in FL Studio, man. It's like, where am I at? Where am I supposed to go? And then the mixer is like there. It's just there, yo. Nothing is routed in it at all whatsoever. You can't route anything in there. It's like, all right. In Reason, I know I can hit my tab button and put it to where I believe the track should go. And I can see the whole back. It's almost like using an actual studio. Like you're like actually patching your sounds into the board like you would in the real studio. That was one of the draws that I had for Reason, because I used to go to like these really big studios at that time, and I had no idea what they were doing. I used to always see them, patching stuff here and there, and I was like, "What the hell are they doing?" But learning Reason taught me how to do that. And then I went to FL, and there's no patching. It's just like you have to figure out how things get to the mixer, and that's not explained very easy. The piano roll just pops up out of nowhere in the middle of your screen. You're like, all right, what am I supposed to do with this? But people love it, man. If you mess with FL Studio first, then yeah. Yes. And the fact that everybody had, all right, so let's think about this. When you look at YouTube for DAWs, the most popular one that's going to pop up is FL Studio. Hands down, that's because everybody was bootlegging it. Like I said, probably everybody in this chat probably had a version of FL Studio at some point in time. And it was probably bootleg. So there's that. And then you have all these people online making videos of how to use FL Studio. So that makes it seem like it's actually easier than it really is. It was actually really difficult when I first started using FL Studio. I didn't understand it. I was like, what the hell is all this? Why is all these screens, yo? And it was a nightmare at one time. You think that it's beginner friendly? All right. So if you ever never ever used FL Studio before, you never saw a video and someone just opened it up in front of you and presented it, you'd be like, all right, what do I do? And you wouldn't have no idea. You see like the little rack thing there, you see your little menu on the side, and you may not even have your mixer on the screen. And you're like, all right, so how do I see my mixer? You got to click on a whole bunch of stuff, try to find the mixer, and the mixer pops up anywhere on the screen. It's not a stationary thing. When you open up Cakewalk, mixer's at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? You have your transport. You can see everything pretty clearly. I think Cakewalk is probably the easiest one to grasp if you just go into the DAW and look at it. Is I think it's pretty simple to see. Like you just have your play stop, you have all your stuff at the top, you have your little track, little section, and everything is in order. It's not like out of order with FL Studio. You have stuff everywhere. And that was very confusing. But you know, to each his own, everybody, you know, learns differently. Uh yeah, FL is good for EDM. It's good for a lot of stuff, you know, it just matters how you use it. Yes, FL has been around for a long time. And like I said, it was bootleg. Just think about that. How long was that? We're talking about like from FL3 to like 11 or 12. So you have like 6 or 7 versions of FL Studio that people were just bootlegging constantly. And then making videos on. Even like Curtis King, he was like he had it for how long? So many years, and he was making money off of it, all that stuff. And then they caught up to him, was like, yo, you're making videos about our product, but you don't own it. We're gonna pull all your stuff off the internet. And that's when he decided to go and buy it. Never used FL Studio. All right. So seeing that seeing that you use Ableton, if you go and download the free version of FL Studio, let me know what you think about it. It's free. Just download the trial version. It'll work on Windows or Mac. Just download it and check it out and let me know what you think. You don't have to buy it or anything. You just use it inside of your your computer. And what's really cool about that is you do get the trial version. You can pull the trial version inside of Ableton and use the FL sounds inside of Ableton. Yeah, yeah, you can do that. All right. There's always someone who learns from someone that someone taught you how to use FL Studio. You happen to start on your own without guidance. Yeah, it was, man. But like I said, I didn't have anybody really to teach me Reason, but I just saw it was a rack. I was like, all right, this looks like a sound module. I put it in there. You had the red drum. You put that in there. You hit the little button, and boom, you just putting stuff in. You're like, oh, okay, this is how it works. But stuff was going to tracks. You could understand like this is the track I'm on. If I pull from this track and plug it into the mixer, I know exactly where it's going. FL, good luck, yo. You just have sounds coming out your master bus, and you don't know you don't know how to put it into the mixer. You just out of luck, man. Uh, who? Dance EJ, hip hop EJ. Woo, man, you going back? The first version of FL was one. It was released December 9th. Officially launched in 1998. Yeah, it's old, man. All right, so let's see here. Let's continue on. All right, so we're getting down to the big dogs, at least to me. All right, so with I'm gonna go with Cubase, and I'm gonna put it in the good section. Actually, I'm gonna put it in best all around DAW. Few reasons for this. Cubase has been around for a very, very long time. It doesn't get the respect that it deserves. It is excellent for any genre that you want to actually compose in. You can use it for TV, film, movies. Use Cubase. There are EDM producers who use Cubase. There are orchestral houses that use Cubase. There are TV film people who use Cubase. Like everybody uses Cubase and you just don't know it. A lot of orchestral music is done in Cubase just because of how it's laid out. It has some really good sounds inside of it. It has a nice little drum sequencer, has a drum program. It has a whole lot of sounds with it as well. All around, it's a really, really good DAW. There are things that I don't like about it. I don't like their layout of their like shortcuts and buttons, which you cannot change. And I think that is one of the deterrents for me for it. But it is a great all-around DAW. And it works with almost everything. Like my keyboard works with it. It is integrated with Cubase automatically when I plug it in, just like it is inside of Ableton. It doesn't have clip launchers like Ableton if everyone wants to get on that little bandwagon, but I don't know many people who use the clip launcher like that. But most of the people that I know use Ableton, they have a push and they use the section where you can see all the linear look. They don't use those drag and drop things to do the live performance stuff. Most people that I know that have Ableton, I don't know who you guys know, but I don't see that. But Cubase is definitely a great all-around DAW. The pricing is not really great for them, at least not for me. I don't like to pay over and over and over again for a DAW. That's why I haven't moved the Studio One 6.5. I still have Studio One 5 on my computer. But there's not really an argument you can make against Cubase. Most people who don't use Pro Tools use Cubase in their studio. If it's a really, really big studio, they usually either have Pro Tools or Cubase or Studio One now. Studio One is really, really making noise. They have the Adobe stuff. They're the ones who actually invented the VSTs. This is the company that invented VSTs and let other companies use it so that you can have it inside your DAW. So without Steinberg, Cubase, there's no VSTs. No VST2s, there's no VST1s, there's VST3s, none of that. So I have to give it an all-around performance. If anybody has a disagreement, let me know. It has been said.
That was legitness. Yeah, it was. Huh?
All right. Yeah, Cubase is strong, man. I don't see anything really mess with Cubase. All right. I gotta take a sip. All right. I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna put it down here. You guys are strangling me if I put it down here. I'm gonna put it in a good section though. FL Studio, the most downloaded, the most used, the most bootlegged, the most videos, the biggest fan base, biggest haters in the game. FL Studio. It's a good DAW. I'm gonna tell you right now, FL Studio has to be one of the best DAWs out there, but it is lacking in very strategic categories to make it an all-around DAW. I really, really, really like the things that they've been putting together now. Like they have the option where you can do the fades at either end. You have an option to use the little ball in the middle to go up and down on the volume, which they did not have before. And that was one of the real striking points of me even going in there trying to mix anything vocal wise or anything else. Like you couldn't edit the audio right on the track. You still can't like add effects directly to the audio files like you can in other DAWs. The plugins are really good. It comes with a lot of sounds. If you're a producer, it is a gold mine for you. Hands down, it is a gold mine to have FL Studio if you are just a producer. But if you do anything else other than like EDM, pop, or hip hop, that's where you get your limitations. I don't see people with a band using FL Studio just because of their routing system and the way it's set up. It doesn't do well with multi-tracking. So you won't see, like I said, bands, metal groups, anything like that using FL Studio. So it has some real limitations to it when it comes to being an all-around best DAW kind of thing. Hopefully you guys agree, but it doesn't matter if you do or not. It's not, Hanabi, it's not. Sorry. I use FL Studio. I've used FL Studio probably the longest out of any DAW on this list. And currently I am not using FL Studio. So there goes that. You need to see to have use a lot of DAWs. Do you think that a better DAW? What? Browse to better. No, I don't think so. I think it's how you use it. It's always been about how you use the DAW. It's never been about the DAW itself, because I could use almost any of these DAWs and make a beat, you know, but not all these DAWs I can go in there and actually record vocals and mix inside of them. That is like a limitation of some of these DAWs on this list. Some of them crash more than others. FL still crashes more than any other DAW that I've used. Second to Cakewalk. Cakewalk crashes all the time for some reason. I don't know what they're doing with that. But all around DAW, it's good, but I don't think it's a best all around DAW. That's just my opinion on it, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah.
That was legitness. Yeah, it was. Huh?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's good, man. Yes, it does crash a lot, and I think it handles VSTs poorly. I don't know if they're gonna try to fix that at some point in time in their you know, in their thing, but it just, like, if you use like 2 omnispheres, it's a wrap. It's done, man. You gotta bust those down into waveforms and do something else. All right. I'm gonna go to what this channel is mostly made on, and I'm gonna go to Cakewalk next. And what I'm gonna do with Cakewalk is I'm gonna put it down here. And I'm gonna put it in front of track waveform, but I can't put it in front of Pro Tools. The reason that is, Cakewalk is a very, very good DAW. It is the best free DAW on the market, Cakewalk by BandLab, which will no longer be a free DAW in probably a couple months or so, seeing that they're just starting to release the betas for, I know the Next has a beta out there right now that you guys can get into. So if you go to like the Cakewalk Next site, I believe they have an option in there. You could join the beta. It's on the Discord. They let you download it and play with it. Yeah. Cakewalk has some really, really good potential. Cakewalk was ahead of everybody at one time, because you can, they had little launch things inside there, just like you do inside of Ableton. It used to have like a little cheap sampler that came with it, which no longer comes with it. So no sampler, uh, no like real like drum samples or anything like that. It came with the studio instruments for like the drums, but you couldn't break it down into like different tracks. It didn't expand out like all the other sounds do. Um, it came with like the TTS one. It came with the Sonitis stuff, which is good, but eh. The fact that you could only have like one EQ on a channel really, really kills it. And like I said, that sampler thing, that no sampler, is really what brings it down, man. It's just not up to par. And then the crashing that it does at times is like unacceptable. But it is faster than FL Studio to me when I'm loading VSTs up, stuff like that. The piano roll is actually really dope. That's where I first learned about, locking notes inside of or locking keys inside of the piano roll, which is really dope. Locking things to scale. Very fluid piano roll. I already liked it. But that sampler part is I just can't get over it, man. And it's okay. It's really good for bands. You can record band stuff in there. It has like really good mixing solutions for people. It's on par with Pro Tools at times. It's not better than Pro Tools. I can tell you that right now. It's not even better than Cubase, but it's definitely better than FL, Waveform, and all these other ones. All right. If you learn the Links basics, don't have a teacher, you might try Linux experiment. This is an Asian video. I don't recommend some of the tutorials you want. All right. Cakewalk is if it wasn't for Cakewalk, I never even tried to start producing. I think Cakewalk is the easiest one. Saya is in the building. No, FL is not in God tier, and you missed the speech that I gave, yo. The speech was awesome. And there's reasons that FL is not in the top tier, and you know those reasons yourself. You know those reasons, man. If you are a rock producer, do you get FL Studio? Do you multi-track in FL Studio? No, you do not, because it's not made for that. It doesn't do it well. It's not really a mixing DAW. You can mix in it, don't get me wrong, but it's just not that good at doing it or recording. But I did give a whole bunch of things about FL and the reasons why I feel that it's good, but it's not an all-around DAW. All right. Sorry you missed it. It goes FL and then the rest. But yeah, Cakewalk, really good DAW. Best free DAW, period. Hands down, without a doubt. So you use Cakewalk. What is that name? I have no idea how to say your name. Dozel Max. I would say go ahead and get it. Go ahead and download it, because they will stop letting people download it once the new Sonar and the Next come out. So yeah, definitely do that. All right, man. Cakewalk it's okay. I wouldn't put it in the good tier just because it's missing so many things. There's so many updates that they need to do that they haven't done yet. It still doesn't have a sampler in it. It's like there's a lot of little things that are holding it back. Because like I said, it does have the trigger stuff that you can use just like it does in Ableton. It doesn't have a sampler, which is definitely killing it in this predicament. The audio files are not the greatest when you're trying to manipulate it, either trying to do like pitch and things like that. It doesn't pitch and stuff like that very well compared to other DAWs. The search function is it's meh to me. And it crashed a lot. So those are like some things that makes it not in the good tier. But I must be super lucky. Cakewalk never Cakewalk never crashes. What do you use it for though? It matters if you're just recording like your guitar or band, using it just for audio, it works great. There's no issues there. But when you start getting into like the VST area and trying to do like any kind of like urban music stuff like that, where you need like samplers and VSTs and MIDI rolls and stuff like that, it gives some issues, and most of the times it does crash. I'm not saying that it's Cakewalk's fault completely that it crashes. Some of the VSTs are funny like that, but it crashes more than a lot of the other DAWs. So FL and Cakewalk crash about the same amount to me. Cubase doesn't really crash that much when I've ever used it. Reaper hardly ever crashes. I have got it to crash though, but it hardly ever crashes. I don't think I've ever crashed Reason either. I've crashed Ableton, and I've never crashed Studio One because I haven't used it that much to know what actually triggers it to crash. What is mixing? That's like using your stuff, like you're putting your audio through a mixer, or in the DAW. The DAWs usually have like a mixing lane where you have your mixer, you have your fader, you could add your effects, your reverb, delay, compression, stuff like that to it, and then it goes out to the master. That's like your mixer. So FL doesn't necessarily have a good mixer, if you ask me. Just need some work. Cakewalk is okay. I guess it could go in the needs work area. I mean, it's a possibility, but it's okay. It's been around for a very long time. It does do what it needs to do if you're doing other genres other than urban music. If you're recording and mixing, if you're just recording and mixing inside a Cakewalk, it's probably top tier. Especially compared to like FL Studio. Like Cakewalk, mixing in Cakewalk is way better than it is inside of FL Studio. You may get your stuff to hit harder, but it's not as clean and prestige as it is inside of Cakewalk. Like my mixes in Cakewalk are very, very clean. It sounds like the stuff you hear on the radio when I'm using like Cakewalk. FL, I mean, I can get it to thump. I can actually get a really good mix out of FL as well, but it's just not the same, yo. It's not the same feel. Things don't go to the mixer automatically. You gotta find stuff inside of FL. Then the weird links that they have in there to each track, and then making a fake bus. It's like, I don't know. It's just not for me, I guess. UI, well, yeah, Cakewalk's not ugly or anything. It's actually a nice looking DAW. I wouldn't say it's better looking than FL. FL is a really nice looking DAW. Yeah, so it won't be free for long. So if you want Cakewalk, I say get it now. It does. All right, FL Studio is so easy to start creating music. Yes and no. Yes, the fact that it does have a lot of stuff in it to get you started. If you are a beginner in any of these DAWs, it's kind of a challenge. Like you won't just get it right away. There's more resources for FL Studio than any DAW on this list. So FL will always be or seem like it's easier to use than any other DAW because there's so much information about it out there. Even more than Pro Tools, and Pro Tools is quote unquote the industry standard. But FL just has so much information out there. Like if you pull up anything beat wise for music, usually the producer is going to be using FL Studio. They may be using Logic, but Ableton would probably be like the second or third. But yeah, man, it's one of those things. A lot of these DAWs are still same old code. That is very, very true, man. All these third-party stuff. Yes, and that's why it should have its own integrated sampler and like a drum rack, because if it's internal, it's more likely it's going to work correctly than if it's something from the outside coming in. And that's why I always push to say that it needs to get the sampler. FL is not the greatest. Sorry. This is not, yo. I use for MIDI, audio, Serato sample, bunch of tracks. For whatever reason, it plays nice with my VSTs. Yeah, I get it to work really well with a lot of VSTs as well, but it still crashes, yo. That is a lie. I guarantee you that is a lie. FL Studio is like the second most crashing DAW on this list. When you import FLACs, what is that? Like FLAC files? Jokes. Gross Beats 2? Update occurred. 1.4 is rough. FL has crashed. Yes, FL crashes all the time, yo. Lies. Lies you tell. Man, I used to get crashes all the time in FL Studio. There's memes out there showing you people crashing FL Studio. And it's always when you're on like your hardest beat you've ever made in your life. Like, yeah, this is it. And then and it's like, what? FL Studio has crashed. Lost all your stuff. Ah, man. Valhalla, Contact, Nexus. Okay. Yes, I agree. Pro Tools is not necessarily a great DAW, and that's why it's in the okay, because you can't really put it in the trash category because of its status. Like it really still is the you know the DAW to beat, really, you know. And as far as like all the stuff in there, I think it crashes probably just as much as FL Studio, and that's why it should go in the trash, but I can't put it in there, so it's just okay. Most of the greats use Ableton. Might as well great you talk about. Ah, see, you use one shots. That's cheating, man. We need you to use some VSTs that take up CPU that crash FL Studio. It's not the same, man. We need you to use some real stuff that's gonna crash FL Studio. All right, so we're down to these three. Ableton. Oh Lord, Ableton. Do I put it up here? Do I put it here? What do you guys think? I'm going to put it in good. Contact atmosphere, computer space. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to put live in the good section just because it's not all around, yo. It's like, I don't know many people that do other genres that use Ableton except for like EDM, like more of the pop culture, urban music. When you come to like metal, I don't see anybody from metal using Ableton. I just don't see it, yo. Like I'm pretty sure it could do it. I don't see people really mixing a lot of vocals and things inside of Ableton as well. Not saying that it can't do it. It's like FL Studio. It's not saying it can't do it. It's the fact that I don't see people using it for that purpose. I wouldn't use it for that purpose, just to be honest with you, just because I wouldn't. uh, Live is an amazing DAW. Comes with a lot of really good things. I think it's overpriced, personally myself, and I refuse to pay $200 to $300 for an upgrade for like one thing that it should have already given me for free. Um, so yeah, Ableton is cool, but I don't think it's all around DAW. I just don't see it. Ableton has Timbaland, Pharrell, Kanye. Well, I mean, Kanye used a lot of different things. He also used MPC, so did Timbaland. Timbaland used the push as well. You know, those are cool, but you gotta understand these are just the beats they're making in there. They're not mixing inside of Ableton. They're not mixing in Ableton. I can almost guarantee you that. They're either using like Pro Tools or uh, which everyone is moving to now is like Studio One or Logic. So yeah, am I using any of these other DAWs for live sets? That is correct. No one is using any of these other DAWs for live sets, even though Cakewalk has an option to do like the live thing in there, and FL has created something for their live little section inside of it as well. I also seen one for Cubase. I just don't remember how to access it, but I think they have some kind of launcher in there. Um, but no one, like if unless you're like an EDM producer that actually goes and do shows, no one's really using these triggers like that. Like no one really cares about those live triggers. If you're trying to make something inside of Ableton, it's a good way to kind of get your ideas out. But no one is using that, live like that unless you're a DJ, an EDM producer, and you're up there and you're doing the whole thing, with the helmets on or something. But no, like I don't see it. I don't see it. Personally, me, I don't even go in that mode just because I hate that mode. I don't like looking at it. I don't like the mixer inside of Ableton. Anytime I try to mix inside there, it just doesn't feel right. Not saying that you can't do it. It just doesn't feel right. Like if you're in the other section where you can have like your tracks and all your effects, I think Ableton has like some of the best effects, like period. Sampler in there, top notch. Their wave manipulation and warping, amazing. But I wouldn't mix in there. It just doesn't feel right. All right. Um, Overpriced. Yeah, man, it's definitely overpriced, yo. 100% until now. Yeah, I'm just telling you what I think, I believe. I mean, you guys can believe what you want to. Y'all can even make your own tier list of this stuff yourself and, show me later. It's available on the tiers.com. Just look up XEL DAW something. XEL DAW tier list or something, I think it is. Yeah. Do you AC, do you actually use those the session view at all? I know a lot of people who don't even go to the session view whatsoever. They just use the other linear form or whatever they call it. Uh, can and can't import MP3s or other audio direct. The only one that I know of is Maschine. Maschine has an issue with MP3s. I think it only does waves. I don't remember if GarageBand had that issue as well, but I think all the rest of them can do MP3s. I have Bitwig, but I have not actually dove into it. Um, I have it on this computer actually, and I just haven't gotten a chance to kind of make anything inside of it to kind of really get a feel of it. But when I opened it up, it felt like Ableton in a way, and I was like, okay, I'm good, and I just closed it down. I didn't, I didn't really get into it. So my next tier list will probably have Bitwig on there. It'll probably have Cakewalk next or Sonar on there as well. Um, but I really like what FL is doing. That FL 21.2 is going to be a definite beast. Cakewalk. It's getting better. It's still not as stable as it should be, at least not to me. The live beef among producers. What? Huh? Oh man. I use Session View to sketch out different sections of the song. It makes it easier to do automation on clips. That's what's up. Like I said, I don't. People that I know that use Ableton have Maschine. Like I'm not Maschine. The push. Almost every producer I know that uses Ableton has a push, and they use the push. They make the beat, and they don't ever go into the session view. That's just from what my experience is. When I use it on my computer, I don't go into the session view because I just make the beats. But I can definitely understand the sketching and ideas and kind of laying stuff out with those. I think that's really cool about Ableton, but I just don't see people using it that much. Converted things to Wave to import Muse, but Adore will convert it for me. That's because Muse is more false. And MP3 codecs is, I guess, I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do Reason. I'm sorry, Reaper. I said Reason. I'm gonna put it in all around. And the reason I say that is because I can make anything in it. I can do any genre in it. I can edit videos in it. Um, it has the lowest CPU usage of any of these DAWs on the list. I don't care which one you put it up against. It is great with audio editing. It is good with warping. Um, the community is amazing for Reaper. Um, I don't know what else to say. The search engine is amazing. The MIDI, well, it's not MIDI, the media player is great. Like, they're so easy to find stuff in there. You can mess with the sample directly in a little waveform at the bottom. It's the only DAW that I know that does that. Um, you can play and manipulate the MIDI files straight from the browser. And I have a video showing that on my Learning Reaper channel. MIDI editor is completely editable. Everything is editable in this DAW. You can make this DAW feel like Cubase. You can make this DAW feel like Logic. You can make this DAW feel like FL Studio. You can make this DAW feel like Ableton. So, I mean, it conforms to you. You don't conform to it. So I'm actually going to push this up a little further. Just push that over there. It works with my keyboard. It works with many other keyboards. It's really easy to set up a keyboard inside of it. A little easier than FL Studio. FL Studio fights with a lot of outboard equipment. The mixer is very easy to use. I mean, the only thing about Reaper is that it's kind of ugly. I'm not even gonna lie. That is like the only thing you can really say about Reaper. Like, what else is there about Reaper? It is not a DAW for everybody. I can tell you that. But all around, it is probably the best DAW when it comes to audio editing, when it comes to computer usage. It works with all these different kind of effects. It's unlimited. It's cheaper than all these other DAWs on the list. Like, what is it that it can't really do? Like, it doesn't have the clip launcher like Ableton Live. I'll give it that. But there's somebody who actually has a script that can kind of do like a clip launching thing. It's not exactly like Ableton's, but there's an option that you can download a script that a user made from the community where you could kind of launch clips. So I don't know. I don't know. Certain products, certain reasons. Um, yes, you can edit videos in Reaper. Not like the not like the Z game editor. I mean, like, actually edit the video. Like, you have your parts here, you have your like your vocals or whatever you have. You can chop up stuff, move it around inside your timeline, inside of Reaper. You can actually edit the video. You can make layers of videos and cut out different pieces like you would in a regular video editor. Um, you could do text inside there and add text to your video inside of Reaper. It's ridiculous, man. Like, yo, you're not understanding me, yo. Yes, I hope they do fix the ugliness about it. I know they're probably not going to fix the Windows issue that I have with it, but it is what it is. Yes, Reaper is good, definitely. Who designed the logo? Ableton. That's one of the ones I found. I found one of them online like that, the Live. And it's funny that people call it Ableton when it's actually called Live. That is the name of the actual software. Ableton Mix Live. Like, you don't say, Image Line FL Studio. Like, you don't say Image Line, you just say FL Studio. It should just be Live, but people call it Ableton. Anyway, Fruity Loops Classic. All right. All right, and the last one we have here is Studio One. I'm actually going to put this up here, and here's why. Studio One 6.5 just changed the whole music game. Period. Like the Dolby Atmos integration inside of Studio One is a game changer completely, because now people don't have to spend all that money on Pro Tools and then buy the whole Adobe Atmos suite to go alongside the Pro Tools session to actually get it to work. And FL Studio does not do Atmos whatsoever at all. That's why it's in the good section. Logic Pro does. Logic does the Atmos. Cubase does Atmos, and Reaper does Atmos. And they have their own separate whole surround sound setup that you can use, which is probably even a little bit easier to use than Atmos, integrated inside of Reaper. The only thing they don't have is the export for the Atmos using the Reaper internal surround sound thing. So you have to get like the Atmos add-on for it to actually work inside of Reaper. But Studio One, sleeper of the group, all around, mixing, mastering, recording, plugins, sampler. What is that thing? The MIDI, the little they have this thing where you can kind of do chords. I can't remember what it's called right now. Sorry, but they have like this chord generator kind of thing in there as well, where if you're even playing chords and you want to change it, you could just go to the top and change it to another chord, like, and it'll be in the same scale. That is ridiculous, yo. Anyway, the only thing I don't agree with Studio One is the CPU usage. It is very, very high. If you're going to be using like a whole bunch of VSTs, definitely bounce them out to Waveform. It handles those very well. I haven't got it to crash yet, so I don't know if it's truly worthy. I haven't been in it that long. I may start doing some of them on this channel, some Studio One videos, just to kind of test it out a little bit more. But I'm going to try to get that 6.5, because I think that in itself, that Adobe Atmos is the future of where the music is actually going. I know there's a couple of platforms that are pushing for it right now. I think Tidal is one of them, and I believe Spotify is actually pushing to change it to those Atmos kind of things. So yeah, man, I'm trying to tell you guys, like, Studio One is definitely a good all-around DAW. And I've seen people make everything in there, and I've seen a lot of newer studios going towards Studio One and getting away from the whole Pro Tools thing. They're going to Studio One and they're using those to mix and record and to master inside, because they have a whole mastering chain that you can use inside of Studio One, man. It's like, all right. And here's a big thing that they just started doing. They have this thing where you can do a whole session inside of Studio One and put it inside of Bitwig, and it'll be exactly the same. I mean, another thing that they just added in Studio One is the option to use it on Linux now. So you could use it on Windows, Mac, and Linux for Studio One. So, I mean, it's, man, yo, good, really, really good all around DAW. I'm starting to like it a lot more and more. I still think Reaper's the champ, but that's just my opinion, bias. It is what it is. I'm gonna give myself one of these
legitness. Yeah, it was.
because that's just how I feel, you know. And everybody else, it is what it is. All right. Which DAW is easy for beginners to learn? I would say whatever DAW you want to start with. That will be the easiest DAW to use. if you want something basic and laid out for you, I think Cakewalk is probably the easiest one. I wouldn't necessarily say FL Studio, because the thing about FL Studio is it gives you bad habits. I'm going to just be honest with you guys. There are a lot of bad habits that you develop from FL Studio if you're actually going to go to any other DAW or try any other DAW, because no other DAW functions like FL Studio. Like in order to like duplicate stuff, it's like Control B instead of Control D. Like every other DAW on this list, to duplicate is Control D, but FL Studio is Control B. And you can't change that. There's no options to change any of those configurations. It's things like that, things like moving things in the mixer. Like if you add an audio track in almost any of these other DAWs, it'll make an audio track inside your mixer. FL Studio has all the mixer already laid out there for you. You can't change that. You have to assign it to that mixer. I know it sounds like I'm bashing, but I'm not. I'm just telling you the honest truth. Like you can go from Studio One to Reaper to Cubase to Ableton to Cakewalk, and all of them will feel familiar to you. But if you go from FL Studio to any one of these other DAWs, you're gonna be like, why is this here? Why does this function like that? Why can't I just hit one time inside the piano roll and make a note? I think almost every other DAW in here is a double click to add a note inside the piano roll, except for FL Studio. I'm just telling you the honest truth, how I've seen it, how I've used all these DAWs on this list, and how I feel about them. But yeah, I wouldn't say FL Studio is the easiest one. Reaper is pretty easy, but it's overwhelming. It's not hard, but it's very, very overwhelming. If you've never used a DAW before, if you have never used any other DAW before and you use Reaper first, you're not going to want to use any other DAW. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because it's going to conform to what you want. Like if you get in there into Reaper and you're like, yo, man, I don't like that I have to hit Control and R to record. You just go into your action list, change it to R. And guess what? Now you hit R on your keyboard and it'll record. You have so much flexibility for the customization in Reaper than any of these DAWs. None of these DAWs have that same kind of openness that Reaper has. So yeah, Studio One is a legend. Oh man, yeah, it's a great DAW, man. Reaper 7 will be awesome. Well, I hope so, man. I really do hope so. Studio One, yes. Yes, Studio One, man. I'm telling you, yo. I know, Saya, you're a FL die-hard fan, but like I said, there's things that are missing inside of FL to make it into this all-around DAW, at least for me. Like I said, I could give you a whole bunch of different reasons why I feel that it's not up to where all the other ones are. That's on the top. I'm thinking about it. Just the Norm is in the building. What's good, man? If you guys don't know, if you want anything to know about Cakewalk, this is the guy, Just the Norm. He is the Cakewalk guy right now. He's like creeping up on me. I don't like that, Norm, but it's all good. We all family here, man. I appreciate you for still continuing the Cakewalk teaching, yo. Hopefully, when the Next and the Sonar come out, it'll be something that could compete with the Studio Ones, the Cubases, the Reapers of the world. I know FL is on fire right now. Saya, I will give you that. FL is super, super, super on fire right now. If they could just get their like recording thing down, so you could do like multiple recording kind of easier inside of FL Studio, I think they have a chance to be in that all around section. Because then more of the like metal people will come over, more of the bands will come over to FL Studio, and that's when you know that you have an all around DAW. And that's why I can't give it to them right now, just because of that. Cakewalk has bands, but you can't sample inside of Cakewalk. Like it doesn't come with a sampler. It's just lacking a lot of things right now. And the constant crashes that it has just doesn't make it in that whole good to all around DAW feel, you know? No problem, man. Someone have been around for a while. It's an overall great company. Uh, yeah, man. I think Presonus has done a really good job of adding things to the market. Like all their mixers come with their software. So they're almost like forcing you to kind of use it. Like Ableton. Ableton forces people to use it because like everything, you buy a keyboard, it comes with live. You buy a mixer, it comes with live. You buy a drum program, beat machine, it comes with live. So I think their marketing has been really, really good and pushing people toward it. But I think the thing that it is people are tired of Pro Tools, and Studio One gives them those little things that they're missing in Pro Tools, you know, and it gives you that option to actually create beats, use VST3s, fast workflow. It's a really good DAW, man. I mean, I can't even lie. But I might do some Studio One videos soon. I need to get a little bit more in tune with it because I'm definitely not. I'm so slow in it. But we'll see. Mixcraft is easy. I have never used Mixcraft. I've heard it's easy as well. Uh, what? Reaper found even a Trojan in some FL folder? Huh? I don't know. Um, beat slicer down. I don't. Okay. Uh, oh man, I wish. Uh, I see you like you're more helpful to the people though, man. Like I see like you're going through the comments and actually making videos to help these guys out. So if, like I said, if you guys are using Cakewalk, definitely you should be following Just the Norm uh, in his YouTube channel for sure. I've never used Mixcraft, so I don't know. I've heard it's really good. I'm on Reaper and Reaper lives. Yeah, Reaper's good, man. The beta's laggy for next. Okay. I mean, it's still in the beta form, so I don't know. So if I do these again, I might have like the Cakewalk next and Sonar on here. But like I said, the sleeper here I'm trying to tell you guys is this one right here. This FL Studio is definitely a sleeper though, just because of all the things they're coming out with. So they have the stem separation, which is amazing, but see, it's still only locking them in to one kind of like the urban market, that urban genre for like EDM, pop, hip hop, trap, drill kind of thing. Like they're in that area, but it's not branching out. There's no branching out to like, you know, country. There's no, what's the other stuff? Like orchestral. There's not many people that use FL Studio to do orchestral music. There are people that do. Don't get me wrong. I've seen a lot of really good things uh, orchestra-wise from people using FL Studio, but it's not something normally done in there. I've seen a lot of people do Studio One, Cubase, Reaper, not even so much in live. Like live is more, you know, that EDM, pop, urban music kind of culture, you know. So, uh, but FL Studio, man, that stem separation definitely dope. They're actually doing what Cakewalk was starting to do. if you really look at it, if you look at what they're doing right now, is what Cakewalk should be doing. Like they're integrating like the BandLab online into the DAW. It's basically the FL one online now, where you can kind of download your tracks from FL online and get, you know, hi-hat loops, drum loops, samples, stuff like that from online. But the difference is FL Studio has a whole bunch of VSTs and sounds that it comes with right out the box. So you're ready to work as soon as you get FL Studio. You open it up, you find whatever sound you're trying to find, and you can kind of start messing around and playing. It does get tricky when you go into like that mixer part and trying to you know, fine tune everything. But just to get started and just start with an idea, FL Studio is really fast with that. They're coming out with some really good plugins. Like I said, they just need to kind of branch out to those other things, like get that multi-recording kind of setup down. And I think they have a chance to kind of, you know, be in that all-around DAW tier. No problem, man. Thank you for joining us. All right, peace out. All right. Appreciate it, man. Yes, you are one of the few who use it for orchestral. Um, I've seen a lot of people use it. This one right here, this digital performer, this is one that I've seen a lot of composers use on the low, and I see them, a lot of people use Cubase and Studio One for orchestral stuff. There's a couple people that use this, and one of those people is Hans Zimmer, so there's that. So yeah, and Logic, of course. Logic is really, really good with that as well. This is really an all-around DAW, but the only reason I'm putting it down here in the good is because it is only for Apple. I mean, that's it. This one is on 3 platforms. This one is on 2. This one is on 3. So yeah. And that's another reason why Cakewalk is just okay, because it's not actually not on Mac at all. It is just on Windows. Oh yeah. Hope Reaper 7 will add a couple of scripts like global sampler. Others. Global sampler? That's interesting. I think they can add another sampler. I would really, really love if they made like a drum machine, or like a real drum machine, and maybe even a real step sequencer, kind of like how Studio One has, or Cubase has, or Live, or Logic. I'm sorry, Logic has. Any of those will work for me. Like just something that where you can kind of do drums a lot easier. They need to appeal a little bit more to the urban market, because every video that you see out there for Reaper, there's no one really talking about how good it can be for the urban market, but me and probably Wusu Beats. Wuzu? Wazu? I think that's his name. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. Meme hater. Reaper is trash. User Hans Zimmer, man. Global sample. When it records what you're playing, so you can take the idea out and save it for later. I know they have something like that, and it's by Bird. I believe that's what they're called. They have this script. That is the amazing part about Reaper. There's so many things you could do. So they have a script where you could do that inside of Reaper and kind of capture like pieces of audio. Like if you're doing like some weird sound design kind of stuff, you could just do that. A lot of gaming people actually use Reaper because of their export options that they have for Reaper. It's a lot easier than a lot of the other DAWs. But yeah, I guess I'll have to say that for another video. I used FL Studio before, switched to Cakewalk, and don't want to. Yeah, yeah. Bird is great. Yeah, I don't I don't need it personally myself, so I don't use it, but I think it's really cool. But we've been on here long enough, ladies and gents. Um, yeah, we've been on here long enough. So the tier list will probably get a little bit bigger. I needed to add Bitwig. I'm sorry, but I haven't really used Bitwig too much, so I didn't put it on here, and I forgot about it. It just slipped my mind. Um, but just to let you know now, Bitwig could probably be in this OK section because I haven't really used it. I don't really know. I heard it's really good. I heard really good things about it. Then, of course, I've heard very bad things about it and CPU usage and stuff like that. So I don't know. I will have to try it out myself. But with that being said, that's pretty much the end of this live stream. I really appreciate you guys for stopping by. I actually went over way over time than I thought I would. I didn't think it would take this long to do to do these DAWs. The next one will not be this long. I can guarantee you that much. But I appreciate you guys for stopping by. This is my list. This is my tier list of DAWs, where I think they fit, where I think they belong. Yeah. If you disagree, definitely do your own one on here. I have it set up inside of the tiermaker.com. So you can go there and just look up X.E.L DAW, and you should see the same tier list on here. And just send it to me. You can email me. Email is below in the description. Just let me know what you guys think. But peace. I'm out.